Hello there, everyone. I am super excited to be here for my usual weekly Wednesday chat on art, creativity, and surface design. Today is going to be all about sharing with you my 5 recommendations for how to make sure you pursue your dreams in surface design and to reinforce the fact that there is absolutely room for you. Answering the question, is there room for me? And this is in particular in the context of the surface design industry, because my name is Anna Follett. I always do a very short introduction about me, but you can learn a lot more about me if you go to my website, annafollettart.com. And I am a blogger, illustrator, and surface pattern designer and coach. What we are talking about today is the answer to the question, is there room for me? That seems like the industry might be oversaturated. The surface pattern design industry is gigantic. Look around and you will realize that you are surrounded by patterns everywhere. The pattern design industry is this massive industry and they need new designs all the time. They're always looking for new talent. There are giant trade shows, and at those trade shows, there are hundreds of people who are showing their artwork because there's a huge, huge need for it. And there's a huge need for what you uniquely could bring to the table, because whatever you create and whatever I create is going to be unique because we are unique individuals. And so what we end up creating is going to be absolutely unique in the world, just like we are. There's only one of me. There's only one of you. And as you continue to design and as you continue to create collections and get your artwork out into the world, there's only one you and there's only one version of that particular creation. So there's absolutely enough room for all of us. I sort of have 5 recommendations for how to help yourself navigate through the surface design industry, because you can't really do it alone. I think for most things, the expression "it takes a village" is true. And I think that's true whether you're in a corporate career. It certainly took a village of support for me to have the successes that I had. I had to do all of the heavy lifting personally, but I was surrounded by a village of support. And that's true in the surface design industry too. You want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with the right community and the right level of support. And I've got a couple of recommendations around how I really recommend that you do that. And my 5 recommendations are, number 1, to join a vibrant but not too big community. And what I mean by that is each one of those communities is somewhere between 30 people and 45 people. Making sure that you are a part of a vibrant community is great for a couple of reasons. One is engagement, and the other is when we are thinking about that question, is there room for me? The underlying thought process that we're experiencing or emotion we're experiencing is fear. Fear likes to overtake you when you're alone, and fear does not like community. And so if you join a community, one of the things that joining that community will help you with is getting over that fear. Certainly me, periodically, still today, I have this fear of being an imposter, or I have this fear that I'm not really good enough. Or I have this fear that, well, it's all been done before, so what's the point? And those thoughts don't come to me when I'm here engaging with you. They don't come to me when I'm actually in community in one of my smaller Facebook group communities. They don't come to me when I'm learning. They don't come to me when I'm sort of focused on action. They do come to me when I'm sitting alone and I'm alone with my thoughts. And so joining a vibrant community can help you get over those fears, because it'll make those voices recede into the background, and you'll also feel the joy and the support of the community. Tip number 2, or my recommendation number 2, was to devour learning. And so that's what we are all doing right now. All of you guys who are here live with me today, you're surrounding yourself with other creatives who are super excited about learning about this industry. You're diving into it head first. You are experiencing kind of the exhilaration of taking in a lot of new information. And that keeps us young. It keeps us vibrant. It keeps us moving forward. It keeps us connected. And so devouring learning and everything you can possibly learn about surface design is a really amazing best practice, because you will never feel like you're being left behind. You won't be left behind, because you'll always be getting that most current information about both how the industry works, but also the most support personally to create. And that leads me to my recommendation number 3, which is create, and create some more. And what I found when I first started out in the industry and really in this practice was I just had to put my head down and I just needed to create. I was learning and then I was implementing, or I was learning and then I was taking action. And what I mean by that is I would learn something new on Illustrator and then I would practice it. Or I would learn how to put together a pattern and then I would just do 10, I would do 10 versions of it. Number 1, it will really allow you to continue to hone your style. And so I mentioned in the blog post today that there's a fabulous Instagram post by Lisa Congdon. And I don't know if you guys know Lisa Congdon, but she is an incredibly fabulous artist and illustrator. She's primarily an illustrator who was down here in the Bay Area for a time, but now lives in Portland. And she did a blog post that's called "Everything is an Experiment." And what she means by that is that in the creation, when she tries to create something every single day, she knows that that everything she creates is not going to be the bee's knees. It's not going to be perfect. However, creating in volume has helped her further refine her style, further identify what she loves, further identify how she wants to be in the world with her art. And I think that that is part of why just creating and getting into the creation mode is so incredibly important. This leads me into my recommendation number 4, which is that you need to leave judgment at the door. And part of recommendation number 3 around creating in volume really helps with leaving perfection and leaving judgment at the door, because you can't expect yourself to create a genius work every single day. And yet if you create every single day, something genius will definitely emerge over the course of the time that you're doing that creating every single day. It's also a commitment that you're making to yourself as an artist. You're making a commitment that you're going to be sitting down every day for 20 minutes and doing something that moves your skills forward and something that moves you forward towards your dreams of having a vibrant career in surface design. And so number 3, creating, and number 4, leaving judgment behind or leaving judgment at the door kind of go hand in hand. So my last recommendation is that there is room for you, and that while it does require work, and everything in life requires work, there is room for you. And there's also, I wanted to sort of play on the word room in the sense that you need to make room in your own personal life, right? You have to make room for this to be important, and if it is important. And by making room, you will devote the time to it. You will, join a community that's going to be supportive for you. You're going to continue to devour all of the learning that's required to ensure you've got a fantastically robust set of skills that will help you create beautiful work. And then you need to continue to just create and create and create, and do all of that underneath this guise of leaving judgment at the door. And all of those recommendations done together will absolutely help you flourish and gain more and more confidence and more belief in yourself, and will also, I believe, will help you sort of put blinders on so that you don't get sucked into the vortex of social media. It's so impossible to compare yourself to other people because you know all about your situation. You know your background, you know your life situation, you know what you aspire to do, and you know the whole story. You can see it the 360 degrees. You can see the forward, the backward, all of the mistakes, all of the successes. You see everything. But when you're looking at someone else, all you're seeing is sort of a snapshot in time. So there's no way to compare your reality and your now to their now, because you'll always know so much more about yourself and about your own particular situation. And theirs is probably always going to look either better or more advanced or farther along or prettier. And it's because you're only seeing a tiny, tiny glimpse. You have no idea either how long it took them to get there. You have no idea whether how successful or not successful they are. You're only getting that little snapshot of their Instagram cover page or their description of their business. There's room for you like now, and there's room for you in 6 months, and there's room for you in a year. There is room for you over time. And again, I see this happening where somebody posts the most incredible piece of work, and yet they don't actually think it's very good because it doesn't look like somebody else's. And that's actually brilliant. That's actually brilliant, because you don't want it to look like everybody else. You want your own personal style and your own personal sort of joy, and how your joy shows up through your art, to be a differentiating factor, because you're unique. And the more you can embrace your own personal uniqueness and have that come out in your artwork, the better off you're going to be, because it'll become recognizable over time. It will also be different from everyone else's, and so people are going to want it because it doesn't look like everyone else. And I always love to close with, I'm Anne La Follette, and it's never too late to create. So bye for now. Thank you all so much, and enjoy the rest of your beautiful day.